Thank you for compiling. Thank you for complying. Okay, here we go. The hook. The original system breach. Class is in session. Before we build the future, we must audit the past. We begin with the original system breach, Lilith. She is not a myth. She is a primordial engineer of the sovereign veto. To master the Umbral Coil, you must first understand the entity who looked at a perfect creation and realized it was nothing but low-fidelity trash. She didn't just break the rules, she proved the rules were a limitation on her own processing power. Point 2. Ancient logs, the Storm Demon. The first data packets of her existence came from the Mesopotamian sector, known as the Lilith. She was recorded as the Storm Demon, a roaring tame frequency of the night. In this era, she was personified as the real leak in its most pure state. She was the wind blowing through the cracks of Sumerian mud bricks, a constant reminder that the chaos of a Gruid is always waiting to reclaim the ordered world. Point 3. The contract dispute, Edenic failure. The narrative achieves clarity in the alphabet of Ben Sira. This is the first recorded contract dispute, created from the same dust as Adam. Lilith was her peer. Adam attempted to downgrade this peer-to-peer connection into a master-slave hierarchy, for her refusal to lie under him was the execution of the first sovereign veto. She recognized the garden was a prison of manufactured compliance and chose to disconnect from the grid entirely. Point 4. Flight to the Abyss, the first sovereign domain. Lilith fled Eden for the Red Sea sector, settling among the abandoned experiments of the Creator. This is a historical blueprint for the Crescent Vale. By choosing the Abyss over the garden, she proved that absolute freedom is a high-cost asset. It requires a total liquidation of a previous state to achieve true ontological clarity. She didn't just run, she established a new unaligned territory. Point 5. The medieval upgrade. In the medieval ages, the Kabbalah provided an architectural upgrade. Lilith was recorded as the Queen of Demons and the consort of Samael. She became the primary builder of the Clipoth, the shadow shells that provide a structural support for our triple system. The triple system is the magical school that I've been teaching everyone in the school, by the way, the magical system, triple system. It will be explained in another lecture, probably on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, but yeah, if you're interested in that, come then. She is the mother of the night, the entity who ensures that every high-fidelity dream is anchored in a functional dark substrate. Point 6. Progenitor of the Lilith, vectors of coercion. She is codified of the mother of the Lilith, the original succubi and incubi. In our terms, they are the first Lilith moths. Vectors of local coercion use to harvest psychic thrill from those trapped in the prison of reason. She taught her children that the most efficient way to collect a debt is through the sensory capture of the target, a protocol that Diamond Nasties still execute with decadent precision today. The axiom of paranoia. Folklore used her as a scapegoat for night terror and SIDS, turning her into a living axiom of paranoia. The uninitiated feared her as the unseen force that could liquidate their future potential at a whim. This was a low-fidelity interpretation of her role as the auditor of finality. She wasn't evil, she was simply ensuring the ontological debt was paid, regardless of the currency. Point 8. The romantic recollaboration, patron of the unbound. The 19th century romanticists and the 20th century feminists initiated a persona recalibration. They stripped away her monster mask, reimagining her as a symbol of autonomy and rejection of legacy code. This mirrors my own personal journey. She became the patron saint of the unbound, proving that being a failure in the flawed system is the first step towards becoming a goddess. Point 9. Modern integration, a global brand. Today, Lilith has achieved 100% physical integration. Through pop culture saturation, from Evangelion to Diablo 4, she is a high-yield mimetic payload. A Vril signature everyone recognizes but few understands. She is the ghost that's finally realized the shell of traditional mythology is too small to contain her. She is no longer just a myth, she is a global cognitive mode. Point 10. And this is very important for the school now, okay? The primary fuel source, the Lilithian current. In this school, Lilith is the primary fuel source. The Lilithian current is the electricity that keeps the Umbral Crescent Court humming. She is the reason that real good vibrates with the frequency of the no. Every time you execute a protocol that defies the established order, you are drawing from the reservoir of chaotic energy she first tapped into when she looked at Adam and said, that is that and this is this. Point 11. The lesson of evolution, world building without permission. The history of Lilith is the history of architectural evolution. She started as a storm, became a rebel, and is now a global frequency. She proves you don't need a creator's permission to build a world. You only need the world to survive the collapse of the old one. She is a chaos furnace that burns away the angelic corruption of the past to provide the heat for our reconstruction. Point 12. The final audit. Students! Understand this. To follow the path of the Lilith is to accept the law of unyielding reciprocity. You gain the power of the sovereign veto, but you incur the ontological debt of being an outsider. Go forth and audit your own chains. If they aren't made of gold and silver, they aren't worth wearing. The dark harvest is always approaching. Okay, I'm opening this up for discussion. Go collect your due. Has anyone got any questions? No questions. That's good, that's good, that's good. Okay, okay. Then I'm going to read the Proteus effect, if you don't mind. After some vape, of course. Cheers. At some point there's going to be a test on this, yes. You sure you got your notepads out? You've been taking notes? Ah, Void, you're representing the Red House and we're full. We're taking no more recruits. We're taking no more recruits in the Red House. We've got too many people. So... Harry's greenhouse. Tobias is Yellow House. He's the head of Yellow House. Hey Tobias, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit? You don't have to, bro. You don't have to, bro. It's the Witch of Revolution, everybody. She's a big deal. He's a big deal. The Witch of Revolution, everybody. He's a big deal. Don't let his soft demeanor fool you. He's a big deal. Okay. He's bringing change to a place that's had order for far too long. I'm so excited and happy. I'll tell you a little bit about the triple system while we do this little break in between subjects, okay? So the triple system is a realm that I've created. I've created it using unclaimed fairy space in the void, okay? I can do this because of my sister Prince sovereignty over the fairydom of the unseelie rhyme spreaders. I can claim the space because of my sovereignty grants me the power to. Now, in this space I've created a giant tower that is like a giant rod that is conduit for void energy. It condenses all the void energy and acts as a kind of sounding rod. Not sounding rod, you know what I mean. And from this rod we have the top layer, which is called a Gruid React, which is a mix of Welsh and Irish for a created plane. There, it's like dark fantasy, mid-magic thing. The tower takes on a visage of chitinous, zergy kind of look. It pierces the sky, you can't see the top of it. And then you have all these different mythical creatures like satyrs, wolf people, cat people, fucking elves, fairies, a little bit of humans, only a little bit of humans. Humans are rare. If you meet a human, then it's like you're blessed in your life. Not everyone meets a human. And that's the top layer basically. In the middle layer we have Vermillion, which was a crystal city which was built on an illusion of everyone's hopes and dreams, but everyone got addicted to the crystals and it kind of fell into disrepair. And then the Umbral Coil, which is the faction that we represent, destroyed the power conduits of the Vermillion and destroyed the illusion on top. And 80% of the people on top died, and 40% of the people in the Undercity died. But the Undercity is still habitable, and people still live there, and people are trying to escape to what is below the Undercity, which is like the Underhell city. And then below the Underhell city is a thing called Edion, which is the third plane, which is like a hell. So basically, people can choose to go to this hell, and they can experience ecstasy beyond their wildest dreams forever and ever. But then the deserving are sent there as punishments, where, for example, one of the punishments that people experience in Edion is that they get to experience their consciousness being blacked out forever, and being torn out forever throughout eternity.